Okay, Shalom, giving all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakah Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles, the bishops, the elders of a great millstone. Salutation, I came out there that push this word in truth and in sincerity. This is breaking news from the U.S. Sun, and it reads, horror loss. South Houston, Texas shooting sees pregnant mom shot dead and 4 others hurt after gunfire erupts at a birthday party. You know they have to be Jake. First of all, they in South Houston, and Jake have a thing for celebrating their birthday. And the birthdays is a form of idolatry. You shouldn't be celebrating your birthday. Why would you be celebrating your birthday and you was born into captivity? Why would you celebrate your birthday knowing that you being oppressed on every side? Show you that our people are lost, man. Hosea 4 and 6. Our people are lost our people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge, man. Had you not been celebrating your birthday, hey, but you can't say that because, hey, the Most High directs a man's steps. And the Lord allowed us to happen. See, that was judgment. The Lord brought forth judgment on these people. Mainly this pregnant woman. So we're going to get into this article, bring out some scriptures, and I'll be right to you argument to be edified. So let's get into it. This is a pregnant mom, where a pregnant woman has been killed and 4 others injured after a shooting erupted from a fight at a birthday party. You see, Jake, it's something about Jake in these events with demons jump on them. Why would you bring guns to a birthday party? Showing that they had ill intents. If you know you're going to an event where it's a pregnant woman and it's an event where it's going to be a little alcohol, some food, some music, why would you bring a gun? Show you that these Jakes got demons on them and they had ill intentions. That's why they brought guns to a birthday party. And like I said, celebrating your birthday is a form of idolatry. You shouldn't be celebrating your birthday because it's wickedness, man. Birthdays, Christmas, Thanksgiving, all these pagan festivals, Halloween, mainly Halloween, is all wicked, man. You shouldn't be celebrating your birthday. It says the Houston Police Department believes over 30 shots were fired in Texas Margaret Jenkins Park at around 1:15 a.m. on Saturday. God damn, man. God damn. Over 30 shots fired at a birthday party? Who was the intended target? Why would you have guns at a birthday party? First and foremost, I stated that earlier. But our people are wicked, man. Hosea 4 and 6, our people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge, man. They have no clue, no sense of direction. They don't know where they're going and where they're coming from. They're just aimlessly out there. It says, the Houston Police Department believes over 30 shots were fired in Texas Margaret Jenkins Park at around 1:15 a.m. on Saturday. Total of 36 shots came from HPD's shot reporter, Technology Assistant Chief E. Garcia said. Autumn Valiant, 21, was identified as the deceased victim by her family who witnessed the shooting. She was 5 months pregnant. First of all, you're out there 1:15 a.m., 5 months pregnant, celebrating your birthday. Yo, shit. Hey, the Most High is dreadful. The Most High has a sense of humor. Okay, you want to be out there celebrating your birthday, and she was young. She was 21. But you got to understand something, man. When you go to Job chapter 4, verse 7, we're going to get that. Let's read it. Remember, I pray thee, whoever perished being innocent. You have to understand something. It's not like they never ran across a Hebrew Israelite camp, mainly a Great Millstone camp, because you got Great Millstone throughout Texas, man. Houston, you got Great Millstone all in Texas, man. So there's no excuse. And besides that, you got the internet, you got YouTube, you got Odyssey, you got Rumble, you got TikTok. You even got videos on Facebook. Even though I don't have a Facebook account, but guess what? There's videos on Facebook. There's videos on TikTok. So you can't tell me you never ran across a Hebrew Israelite video, whether it's Great Millstone, whether it's IUIC, ISUPK. You ran across a Great Millstone video, whether you scoffed at it, talk shit, murmur under your voice. The Lord knows your thoughts. The Lord can read your mind. So whatever you said, you was scoffing and scoring and getting on a keyboard on the low, talking shit, putting your little comments on videos, your little demonic comments on videos, the Lord knows that. And hence, judgment comes, man. This is Job chapter 4, verse 7. Remember, I pray thee, whoever perished being innocent, or where were the righteous cut off, even as I have seen, they that plow iniquity and sow wickedness reap the same. Let's read that again. Even as I have seen, they that plow iniquity, because you have that's sin upon sin. And the only ones that can sin are you Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, who are the true biblical Israelites, Hebrew Israelites. So you're the only ones who can sin. The Lord was only to give it to Israel. So you out there committing adultery, you run across a video, you scoff, you scorn at it, you talk shit. You devise wickedness against these men. You come up against them, buck up against them. Whether it's on a comment board, you walk past the camp talking your shit, getting in your feelings. What I feel this, I feel this, I feel it. Your talk too aggressive to people. I don't care if a man is screaming at the top of his lungs and he's bringing out truth and he's breaking down the scriptures properly, giving me 100% truth. I don't care how he come at me with the truth, man. As long as I receive the truth. But you people are too emotional because you've been in America for too long. And America got that Queen of Heaven vibration on it, where everything offends you. So here you have it. It says, even as I have seen, Job chapter 4, verse 8, even as I have seen, they that plow iniquity and sow wickedness reap the same. If you're out there committing all kind of sin, which is iniquity, which is sin upon sin, and sowing wickedness, you're going to reap that, man. Like I stated earlier, why would you bring guns to a birthday party? It doesn't make sense, man. It doesn't make sense. Being that you Jakes respect nothing but violence, guess what? The Lord is going to allow Esau to bring that violence. The Lord is going to allow Esau, the so-called white man, to bring violence, man. Hey, man, y'all going to learn. Y'all going to learn. Y'all going to learn, man. It says, this is Job chapter 4, verse 9. By the blast of the Most High, they perish, and by the breath of his nostrils are they consumed. See, by the blast of the Most High, they perish. The Lord sent a death angel in that park to delete that pregnant woman, and she was young, and wounded 4 others. So he brought forth judgment. And at the same time, him bringing forth judgment, he had mercy on 4 other individuals that got wounded. You got to understand something, man. You know, you can't have it both ways. You can't be wicked, run across a Hebrew Israelite video and talk your shit, thinking that you're not gonna have to answer what the hell you saying. I'm not saying they was doing that. I'm not saying that she was a scoffer or a scorner, but judgment came upon her. Judgment came upon this woman, man. It says, this is Hebrews chapter 4, verse 12. For the word of Yahweh is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing asunder of the soul and spirit. She may have ran across a video, she may have walked past a camp Because like I said, you got various great millstone camps out there in Houston and in Texas in general. And she probably got cut in the spirit and started scoffing and scorning. Or she did something else in her life where the Most High brought judgment upon her. Representing this life or her previous life. The Lord brought judgment upon that woman. It says, back in Hebrews chapter 4, verse 12, for the word of the Lord Yahweh is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit, and of the joints and marrows, and is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart. You see what I'm saying? She probably talked shit, passed by a camp, talk shit, or saw a video online on YouTube or whatever platform she's on, whether it's Rumble, Odyssey, or even TikTok. TikTok is what a lot of you people killed, man. Because a lot of you jakes that to go on TikTok and voice your opinion about the scriptures. Voice your opinion about your feeble worthless opinion about the scriptures and how you feel. All in your feelings. And being all in your feelings is going to get you deleted. And that's exactly what happened, man. I'm not saying she was talking shit, but chances are she ran across a Hebrew Israelite video, or she ran across a camp and started talking her shit. Or like I said, she was judged for something she did in this life or in her previous life. No one perishes being innocent. We know that. We know that. So when judgment comes, when tragedy like this happens, you gotta understand something. Everything comes from the Lord. Everything is of the Lord. When the Lord brings that judgment, 1 Samuel 2:6, the Lord killeth and maketh alive. It's the Lord that brings forth the judgment. It's the Lord, Yahweh. Why Yahweh Shai that brings forth judgment. Before I get more scripture, we're gonna continue in this article real quick, see if we can find more. 3 people were taken to a hospital, including 2 suspects. It's always the same. It's always the same. The suspects get wounded by police. They get taken into custody. Now, judgment is coming upon them too, because they're going to face life in prison. They're going to do life in prison. They're not going to do it. They're going to be sentenced to life in prison till the Lord comes back and crack them skies and bring forth judgment and destroy them with thermonuclear destruction or concentrated fire from them chariots. So they're going to be locked away to the time of Esau's destruction. Put it that way. It says 3 people were taken to a hospital, including 2 suspects, according to authorities. A 5th person was grazed by the bullet, but did not go to the hospital. The outlet reports. It is unclear what the argument. It is unclear what the argument that. So let me read it again. It is unclear what the argument that led to the shooting was about. Stupidity, niggatry, folly. That's what led to the shooting. Also judgment from our Heavenly Father Yahweh and His Son Yahweh Shah. It says, her name is Autumn. Autumn's mom, Ebony Valian, said her daughter knew the alleged shooters. So you allow Pookie and Ray Rays and Grimy Eric to come to your birthday party just to shoot it up. And in the midst of shooting it up, you catch a couple of bullets. The Lord brought forth judgment on you and your unborn child. Dig that, man. Hey, the Lord is cruel, man. It says, as we were getting ready to leave, they started a little commotion. Ebony said, "You see, your friends started that commotion, whoever they were. You knew your people. You knew the people that killed you. God damn, man." It says, one man pulled a gun. When he pulled his gun, the other guy's girlfriend came out of her truck and came with a gun. They were talking back and forth about who would do what And they started shooting at each other. All of them tried to leave before the fight got worse. Ebony recorded, but when Ebony turned around, her daughter was shot. Shot dead on the floor. Judgment. Instant judgment. I looked back and my baby was down on the ground, gone, Ebony said. And that's that. The Lord whacked her out by using wicked ass niggas that she allowed to come to her birthday party, which she shouldn't have been celebrating in the first place, to come and whack her out. Hey, but like I said, scoffing and scorning leads to your demise. Talking shit leads to your demise. When you're not right with the Most High, that's what happens. Give me 1 second, Akim. Slack it. That's what happens when you talk shit, when you get on the comment board and say what you say. Because we know Jake ain't right, man. When I mean Jake, I'm talking about you Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans. The 2/3 of you Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans are going to get judged properly. This is Jeremiah 18, verse. I'm going to start at the 18th verse, because you got a lot of Jakes out there that like to talk shit and come on the comment board, pass by the camp and buck up, call us rapists, slander our names, demonizers, call us pedophiles, and so forth and so on, only to their own destruction and their own demise. Because the Lord is going to have a hedge around his men. So all the talking shit, all the gang saying is not going to apply to the men. It's going to come back on your own head. This is Jeremiah chapter 18, verse 18. Then said they, come, talking about the 2/3 of you wicked ass Israelites, come and let us devise devices against Jeremiah. It happened to Jeremiah. They plotted against Jeremiah. And they're going to plot and do the same to the prophets now, because the same prophets that was back then are back now. And the same people that was listening to the ancient prophets are back now to this very day. So it's the same spirits, but in different bodies. It says, then said they, come and let us devise devices against Jeremiah, for the Lord shall not perish from the priests, nor counsel from the wise, nor the word from the prophet. Come and let us smite him with the tongue. How they gonna smite him with the tongue? Demonizing him, slandering his name, talking shit. The same thing the ancient prophets had to go through, the same thing we're going through right now in this modern day Babylon. With the same souls that's coming back in new bodies. The same spirit, but different body. So they're gonna do the very same thing they did in the ancient world. And that's what the Lord is bringing heavy judgment. It says, come and let us smite him with the tongue, and let us not give heed to any of his words. And that's the 2/3 of you Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans today. You don't want to give heed to any of our words, man. But our job is to go out there and teach, pursuant to Ezekiel 3:17. The Lord set us up as watchmen. And we're going to teach the word whether you will hear and whether you will forbear. Ezekiel 33:11 on down. We're going to go out there and we're going to teach the word, because we don't want your blood on our hands. So when judgment comes, your blood is on your own hands, because you have been warned. And more judgment is going to come. It says, give heed to me, O Lord. This is Jeremiah praying to the Lord to put curses on 2/3 of you Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And that's the very same thing that the modern day prophets started with the apostles on down. Once you come up against us with cruelty, slander, and demonizing our names, we put curses on you niggas, man. It says, give heed to me, O Lord Yahweh, and hearken to the voice of them that contend with me. shall evil be recompensed for good? Because we out there doing a good work, man. And the only thing you Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans are doing are recompensing us, paying us back for our good works, but nothing but evil. And that's why the Lord's going to bring a heavy judgment. This is small to the judgment the Lord is going to bring. It says, shall evil be recompensed for good? For they have digged a pit for my soul. Remember that I stood before thee to speak good for them, and to turn away thy wrath from them. Therefore deliver up their children to the famine. And that's what's coming. And that's what's coming, man. Wow. This is real heavy. Okay, that's what's coming. The Lord appointed 4 kinds of deaths for you niggas, man. And we're going to get that. It says, therefore, deliver up their children to the famine and pour out their blood by the force of the sword, and let their wives be bereaved of their children, and be widows, and let their men be put to death. Let their young men be slain by the sword in battle. Wow, that's heavy. And that's what you see right here. It says, therefore, deliver up their children to the famine and pour out their blood by the force of the sword. That's what you see happen. She was one of them that fell by the force of the sword, man. That was all judgment. It says, and also, judgment came upon some rapper in Philly. Gilly the Kid, the son after his son got put to death. What kind of name is Gilly the Kid? Hey, Jake is bugged out, man, with these names they give themselves, man. Gilly the Kid. Judgment came upon that nigga too. His son. 25-year-old in the streets. His father making over $100 million, but here you in the streets of Philadelphia, in the ghettos. A man's goings of the Lord. The Lord allowed that stupid nigga to remain where he was at, just so he can get judged, put to death. See, judgment comes, man. And there's going to be more judgments, man. It says, therefore, deliver up their children to the famine and pour out their blood by the force of the sword, and let their wives be bereaved of their children and be widows, and let their men be put to death. Let their young men be slain by the sword in the battle. Let a cry be heard from their houses when thou shalt bring a troop suddenly upon them. That troop is Esau Edom. That troop is Esau Edom that the Lord is going to allow to come upon you during the time of martial law. We're going to get that. Let me just finish this out. It says, let a cry be heard. This is Jeremiah chapter 18, verse 22. Let a cry be heard from their houses when thou shalt bring a troop suddenly upon them. For they have digged a pit to take me, and hit snares for my feet. Yet Yahweh, yet Lord, thou knowest all their counsel against me to slay me. Forgive not their iniquity, neither blot out their sin from thy sight. But let them be overthrown before thee. Deal thus with them in the time of thy anger. And the Lord said he's going to bring a, he said, Jeremiah prayed that the Lord, it says, let a cry be heard from their houses when thou shalt bring a troop suddenly upon them. And what's that troop that the Lord's going to bring suddenly upon them? Ezekiel chapter 21, verse 9. Then, thus saith the Lord, Slack Jeremiah 21, verse 9. Son of man, prophesy and say, thus saith the Lord, say a sword is sharpened and also furbished. It is sharpened to make a sore slaughter. It is sharpened to make a sore slaughter. It is furbished that it may glitter. Shall we then make mirth? Being in the park, 1 o'clock, 1:15 a.m. celebrating your birthday, which is totally demonic. You shouldn't have been doing that in the first place. And meanwhile, while you doing that wickedness, the Most High brought judgment upon you. And there's going to be more judgments, man. It says, then should we then make mirth? It containeth the rod of my son as every tree, and he have given it to be furbished, that it may be handled. This sword is sharpened, it is furbished to give it into the hands of the slayer. Esau is the slayer. The hands that the sword is going to be sharpened and given to is Esau, but also you got wicked ass jakes out there that's going to do the bidding of the Lord. That's going to put a lot of you niggas to death, man. It says, cry and howl, son of man, for it shall be upon my people. It shall be upon all the princes of Israel. Terrors by the reason of the sword shall be upon my people. Smite therefore upon the thigh. It's going to come. And when it comes, it's going to come brutal and it's going to come fast. It's going to come brutally and it's going to come fast. The Lord's going to bring that judgment, man. You know? Because the Lord appointed 4 kinds of deaths. And this is one of my favorite scriptures. This is Jeremiah chapter 15, verse 1. Then said the Lord unto me, though Moses and Samuel. Now we all know that Moses represents the Lord and Samuel represents the prophets. Stood before me, yet my mind cannot be towards this people. The 2/3 of you Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, man. The Lord's mind is not towards you. Zechariah 13:8, man. 2/3 going to be cut off and die. It says, yet my mind cannot be towards this people. Cast them out of my sight and let them go forth. This happened in 70 AD. How did the Lord cast us out of his sight? By scattering us and casting us and kicking us out of the land of Israel. It says, and it shall come to pass, if they shall say, and it shall come to pass, if they say unto thee, where shall we go forth? Then thou shalt tell them, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, such as for death to death, and such as for the sword to the sword, and such as for the famine to the famine, and such as for the captivity to the captivity. A lot of you going to perish by the sword. A lot of you going to perish by the way of famine. A lot of you going to be snatched up and tossed headfirst to a concentration camp, which is captivity. It says, verse 3, and this is the point, and I will appoint over them 4 kinds, saith the Lord. The sword to slay, getting put to death by the modern day gun. Modern day sword is the gun. It says, and I will appoint over them 4 kinds of deaths. And I will appoint over them 4 kinds, saith the Lord. The sword to slay, and the dogs to tear, and the fowls of the heaven, and the beasts of the earth to devour and to destroy. Because a lot of death and destruction is going to be, a lot of people are going to be laid out on these streets. And the Lord is going to bring that death and destruction. Whereas these animals, these birds and these animals are going to have a feast. Animals got to eat too. All this is judgment. What you people fail to realize is the Lord's going to bring a heavy judgment. And this is all judgment, man. Let's finish out this article, then finish out with one more scripture, then that will be the lesson. Okay, it looks like that was the all right, it is a little more. It says, okay. Here's the last part of the article. I just lost my baby. She was in school trying to get a job, trying to become something, and she's going. Oh, let me read it again. I just lost my baby. This is her mother, Ebony Villian said. I just lost my baby. She was in school trying to get a job, but she's pregnant though. Trying to become something, and she's gone now. Police are continuing to search for more possible suspects. And the cycle going to continue. Because 2/3 of you Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans are destructive people. Your brain nothing but death. And being that you lack violence so much, the Lord is, and that's all you respect is violence. The Lord gonna bring violence to you by the way of his sword, Esau, the so-called white man. Death is coming. Death is coming. And it's all going to be orchestrated by the Lord. Yahweh, why Yahweh Shah? Let's not mistake that. This is Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 39. And it reads, see now that I, even I am he, and there's no God with me. I don't care if you pray to Buddha. I don't care if you pray to white man Jesus, aka Serapis. I don't care if you pray to Allah. I don't care if you are atheist. I don't care if you into Buhariya. None of that shit is going to save you. Because the Lord, Yahweh, why Yahweh Shah, is the true living power. So it reads, back in Deuteronomy 32, verse 39, see now that I, even I am he, and there's no God with me. I kill, and I make alive. I wound, and I heal, neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. There's no one that can deliver you out of the Lord's hand. Not Buddha, not Allah, not that left-hand magic called Buhariya, not Serapis Christus, not Slash, a.k.a. Cesare Borgia. None of them false deities can deliver you out of the Lord's hand. And his name is Yahweh, and his son's name is Yahweh Shah. It says, for it's like if I lift my hand to heaven and say, I live forever. If I wet my glittering sword and my hand take hold on judgment, I will render vengeance to my enemies and will reward them that hate me. 2/3 you Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans hate the Lord Yahweh by Yahweh Shah. And therefore the Lord's going to bring heavy judgment upon you. To recap this so-called horror loss, South Houston, Texas shooting sees pregnant mom shot dead and 4 others hurt after gunfire erupts at a birthday party. You shouldn't have been celebrating your birthday. It's idolatry. So that was the lesson. Abba Zayu Akimat was edified. We're going to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakah Quadash, and double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. And with that, I'm going to say Shalom.